Greetings, chess players. My name is Chris Torres. This is Daily Chess Musings, and we are. Hang on, you don't see me. Now you see me. And we are looking at the Bay Area Chess Grandmaster International Master Norm Tournament number 2. Let me say that again. The Bay Area Chess, the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess Grandmaster International Master Norm Tournament number 2. So let me switch to the slideshow. Now you see what the players look like. And hang on one second. Let me get my area ready to operate the proper way. Let me get myself comfortable. Of course. All sorts of windows I don't need open anywhere. But they're open, they're in my way. Okay. All right. So we are, we are 1 week wiser, coming back. Many of the players are the same, but there are some players who are different. And let me go to my browser window and open things up. So there's browser window. Let's here's the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess Norm Tournament, but I wanted to go to dailychessmusings.com and tell you what we're looking at. All right, so my goodness, so much stuff. All right, so we're looking at the second Norm tournament. Don't ask me why I have a picture from the first one up there still on the blog. I don't know. This is April 1st through 5th. In this tournament, we're going to see Grandmaster Gabor Nagy again, Grandmaster Leonid Udison again, Grandmaster David Berkses, FIDE Master Eric Lee. He's one of the founders of Mission 360. I am Josiah Stearman. I am Michael Lee. There's a new face, right? David Berkses is also a new face for these tournaments. I am Vyam Vidyarthi, and I believe he's from the South Bay, San Jose area. FIDE Master Maria Malika. So we have a female chess player. That's wonderful. FIDE Master Austin May. And FIDE Master Ming Liu. So lots of very talented chess players trying to earn norms to get their new titles. And that's going to equate to lots of exciting chess. So you are watching round 1 coverage of the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess Grandmaster Invitational. I am Invitational Norm Tournament number 2. It's the second one. And let me switch to slideshow. There you go. And I like being on slideshow. And let us see what we've all right, we'll start with board 1, and let's see how things start. Hang on one second for me. All right, so we are looking at d4, d5, c4, so maybe a queen's gambit. c6, we see a Slav. International Master Josiah Stearman is white. He is playing FIDE Master Ming Liu. Knight f3. And then knight c6, so probably knight c3. Nope, Josiah plays e3. And then, which is fine, bishop f5, knight c3, e6, so a full Slav. And then this early knight h5, obviously targeting the black's bishop on f5. And then f3, targeting that bishop again while gaining more space toward the center. And now Josiah brings his queen out early because b7 was left defenseless. So this queen is in a very useful location because it puts extra pressure on d5 plus b7. Queen c7 defending b7, bishop to d2, bishop e7. G3, wow. Josiah's played a lot of pawn moves that create a lot of extra weakness. He's gaining space. He's taking important squares from his opponent. For instance, like his opponent's knight can't move forward like this, right? But it does create, king safety issues as well for white. Castle. So if you're Ming Lu right now, you played the Slav, but with Josiah making all these extra pawn moves early, a strategy may be trying to break open the center while his king's sitting there. Knight takes bishop. Well, that was a good exchange because Josiah is using a knight that's on the rim to take a bishop that was black's best piece. It was black's best piece. Take back. Rook c1. There's no castling for Josiah today that we're likely to see. Queen comes back. And this means if white's bishop were to come out this way, then perhaps black's queen is going to come out toward h3. We'll see. And this is where we currently are. This is where we currently are. So Josiah Stearman has played a rather the center's closed, so his king's not in too much danger. But on the other side of the coin, I mean, if he castles kingside, he can no longer castle queenside. If he castles kingside, he's castling into a lot of open squares. All right, let's look at game number 2. We are up and rolling. Let me check my windows. Good. So game number 2 is Grandmaster Gabor Nagy versus FIDE Master Vyam Vidyarthi. As I said, I believe Vyam is from the South Bay, San Jose area. Let's see. So we have c4, probably in English. e5, yep. And there's an early bishop b4. Interesting. So this could, let's see. Nope. I was going to say this, if white played, never mind, it wouldn't at any rate. I just corrected my own thought. So this is really interesting, provocative chess from the get-go. Black brings their bishop out before a knight, and it's not even pinning the knight. And now white uses their knight to attack the bishop. And I seem to recall seeing this line before. I'm searching my my memory for it. It reminds me of a Trompowsky attack, but it's of course on the other side of the board. And I'm trying to remember what do I know about this? What is it that I remember? And I think what it is that I remember is I've stumbled into this before, and I think what it is it's best to bring the bishop back to e7 actually. And that's what Vyam does. Okay. So I have stumbled into this line personally. I'm trying to remember when. And then, white here white has like a lot of different options, right? They could play d4, and that would make a lot of sense. putting a pawn in the center, opening up the other diagonal, right? They could actually play pawn e4. Um, that would be okay too. And then black would probably, if you played e4, then you probably see c6, and then maybe the knight returns back. And with your c4 and e4 pawns, you're making it hard for black to play d5. I think what happened in the game that I'm trying to remember was that a g3 was played with the idea of fianchettoing, and that was very interesting. But let's see what happens in this game. Knight f3. So one of the options that I didn't mention was knight f3. And if you're black, what do you think? d6 maybe? Or knight c6? I mean, these make good sensible moves. Defending e5, right? You don't want to lose your claim to fame. That is your center pawn. So I'm thinking knight c6 or d6. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Knight c6 develops a piece. d6 opens a line for your bishop. Knight c6 it is. And then d4. So there's now d4 is played. Wow. And honestly, this almost seems like fresh chess to me. This almost seems like maybe we're quickly leaving the realm of book knowledge and preparation that these players may have based on other people's games. This is already looking very. It was, you know, the bishop b4 knight d5 line already is kind of leaving the main stuff, and then now I've seen a lot of chess. I don't know that I've seen this position before, and I have seen a lot of chess. Let's see. So what happens now? d6 is played. Makes sense. And then, you know, I might be tempted to even just play e4 here. That would be very exciting. Let's see. g3. Like I said, this is very unfamiliar. If you're black, probably knight f6, right? Probably knight f6. Let's see what black plays. Yep, knight f6. So I called that, developing pieces. And then if you're white, probably bishop g2. Nope. Knight takes bishop. Forcing, yeah, well, not quite forcing, but compelling, you know, suggesting to black, hey, you just lost a piece, you better take back. Queen takes, and then d5. That's a committal move, right? It relieves the tension between e5 and d4, and once again, I mean, it grabs space against black's knight. So here, this is an interesting position, and I believe this is where we are. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple options as I see it. Number one, it might just be best to go back to b8. It might just be best to go back to b8. d8 would also be a possibility, but I don't like it as much because then you can't reload the knight to d7, which is kind of a traditional square for it. Or possibly pawn e4. You can counter push. So I'm going to get rid of the d8 move. I'm going to say the two main possibilities here for black to respond to this are knight b8 or pawn e4. And we are waiting to see what it is that Viam will play. But he's got himself a very interesting, maybe brand new, fresh position. Like I said, I've never seen this, and I have seen a lot of games. All right, so we're going to our third game, And we've got Maria Malika versus Eric Lee. Let's see what's going on here. All right, let us see. Hang on one second. So we've got Maria, and she starts with E4 and then C5. So we've got ourselves a Sicilian. The idea with the Sicilian being a good move is the pawn on C5 is controlling D4. So if at some point black gets to trade a non-center pawn for a center pawn, which should be good. So white plays knight F3. So far, just main Sicilian, and then knight C6. And now we're going to see, is white going to play D4 into the mainline Sicilian, or are they going to try and sidestep it with the bishop B5 idea? D4 is played. So we've got ourselves a mainline Sicilian. I don't play the Sicilian very often myself, but I know it by way of the fact that I've been coaching for so long. If you're a chess coach, you gotta know this stuff. So pawn takes, knight takes, and then knight f6. Okay. So far, so good. Black has 2 pieces developed. White has a piece developed and a pawn in the center. Knight c3. White catches up on development. And then, are we going to see e5 from black? Let's see. Let's see. I mean, e6 is, I think, called the Paulsen. We might see e6. The Paulsen. You could even, the Simogan is g6. There's a whole bunch of different kind of variations. But let's see. E5 is played. All right. So now, in these e5 Sicilians, then f7 is actually a target for white again. We might see white's bishop go to c4 at some point. Obviously not right now because the knight's under attack. But we could see that happening. I kind of like the e5, like the Kalashnikov, right? Sicilian and such. In fact, is this a, I shouldn't get into naming variations. Whenever I get into naming variations, I will name them incorrectly. This is one thing that I've learned about myself. All right, so then the knight d to b5 is the main line here. Black plays d6. So they've got that hanging pawn structure that Jim Eade was talking about, where you got the one permanently backward pawn. White has a target out here, though, with that knight. Let's see what white chooses to play. A4. I've seen this before. This is not a new idea. And I believe a lot of the times black plays a6. Get rid of that knight. Let's see. Does black play a6? Eric Lee does, in fact, play a6. And so I think that's the main line for this situation. The idea of a4, though. Why did white play a4 if their knight's going to go away? It's so their knight could go back to a3. It's so their knight can go back to a3. So, up, and they do. Good. Because what, all other moves, the knight would die. So of course they are. Yeah, a4 is an important move. And then right here, black has a lot of potential moves. I mean, there's bishop d7. Bishop e7 is probably what I would do because it creates the path to castling. Let's see what black does. Black being Eric Lee, one of our founders of Mission 360. Bishop g4, developing with a threat. This isn't a pin because the knight that started on f3 is way over here on a3. It's not a pin. Interesting. I'm a little unfamiliar here. I mean, can white just play f3? It seems like you could get away with playing f3 to interpose because The pawn on d6 is in the way of black's bishop on c8. It just seems to me that f3 would be a playable choice. It still has the drawback of weakening things, right? If you play f3, you're going to weaken things big time on the a7 to g1, on the a7 to g1 diagonal. Um, let's see what's played. Ah, bishop e2 is certainly another option, right? Threatening. Now there are two attackers on the bishop on g4. So more than likely, black has to should trade here, and they do. So bishop takes, queen takes, and now what do you play as black? Maybe bishop e7, so you can get castled. Let's see what Eric Lee chooses. d5. He plays d5 now. That's gutsy. That's a gutsy move. Because, see, white's got their queen in a better spot. White's queen's already moved. White's ready to castle. White's ready to castle. This is a gutsy play. You're potentially opening up the center on your king, and you cannot castle yet. This is a gutsy play. I'm not going to say it's a mistake. I'm going to say it's very gutsy. Interesting. Fascinating. I think if you're white, you just want to play exd5. I think you do. Because if you play exd5, then you're opening up the file on black's king. So I think that would make the most sense. But white, bishop is certainly developing a piece, right? That also makes sense. And now white could castle in either direction. It still would be much safer to castle kingside, but it gives black maybe something to worry about in that sense. Bishop g5. I believe I have seen this before. And black opens up. And is white going to castle kingside here? No. She takes. Maria takes the pawn, and it adds more pressure to the pin. So now, are we going to see queen a5, bishop e7? I mean, these moves would make sense, right? Queen a5 is a check. Let's see what we see. Queen a5 check it is. All right, so black gets a piece developed with a check. So that's free of time. White has to block somehow or move their king. And now knight takes e4, queen takes e4, and bishop takes a3, creating some weakness there. Knight takes e4, queen takes e4, bishop takes a3. So this is going to create some weakness. I don't think you want to do this at all, right? If bx a3, you're going to end up with double isolated pawns and an isolated c pawn, right? So I don't think this is such a good idea. Instead, let me check my my volume. My volume looks pretty good. My volume looks pretty good. All right, and my screen still looks good. Always good to check in on these things. Instead, you want to take with the rook. And yep, rook takes. But now that rook is kind of oddly placed on a3. It is not, you're going to, it's really strangely not in a very effective place for the rook to be currently. It could end up playing a role across the third rank. I mean, it could end up being able to do a lot in the third rank. But right now, it cannot. Black castles. White castles. And then the queen drops back to c7. makes it's a much better square for the queen, and it's defending e5, so the knight's not the only thing doing that. And from c7, it's influencing the center. Gets out of the file of white's rook. White does use their other rook to grab an open file. Generally, open files scream at your rooks to be grabbed, and Maria takes it right away. And this is where we are. And I had mentioned that perhaps I've seen this before, but this could be a fresh position as well. We could be seeing another novelty because, like I said, I've seen a lot of chess, and I can do a database search at like one of the commercial breaks. But I think we are in novel territory here as well. So this tournament isn't just historic from the sense that it is a IM Grandmaster Norm tournament in the Bay Area, in the Bay Area, in San Jose, California. It also is historic because we're seeing some firsts on the chessboard tonight. All right, so let's see what we got. Are we going to have something normal on this one, or something very provocative and interesting? Again, let's find out. So this game is Michael Lee. I believe Michael is international master from Washington. I want to say he's from Washington State. And Austin May is a FIDE master from the Bay Area. Let us see what happens. So d4, knight f6, c4. Okay, so we've got ourselves a traditional Indian hyper-modern versus classical. White's taking a bunch of early space. Black opens. So black's going to be using their bishop to strike at the center from afar. White's claiming as much center space early as possible. f3. Takes squares away from black's knight. And also, hang on one second, and also is obviously preparing f4. I'm sorry, not f4, but e4. Why did I say f4? So black plays bishop g7 as we would expect. And is white going to just play e4 right now? Let's find out. Yep. So check it out. That's a lot of space. That's a lot of pawns in the center. But black has this bishop already targeting the weaker d4 pawn. And black's going to get castled sooner. White hasn't moved a piece yet. White hasn't moved a single piece yet. Four consecutive pawn moves in a row. Will we see 5? Probably not. That would be probably a bad idea. Black plays d6, so it's more of a Queen's Indian, and then we see what do you think? Knight c3? Yep, knight c3, and then black castles, and then we get bishop e3 and then c5. Sorry, my screen glitched there for a second, so I did 2 moves in a row. Black castled, then white played bishop e3, getting another piece developed, and black struck back on c5. And certainly everything that's played thus far makes a lot of sense. This has been played probably thousands of times, this exact opening sequence. Let's see what happens next. Knight to e2. White's getting more and more pieces into the game, defending, adding more defense to d4. And black puts more threats on d4. So it's like d4 is the critical point. It's the critical point. Black's mounting pressure on it with their knight and bishop. They're trying to undermine, undermine white's pawn center with their minor pieces. And white is just happy right now, enjoying a lot of extra space. You have to wonder, with black being castled already and white being not, are we going to see like a d5 push? If you play e5, that could end tragically. If you play e5, then white could lock the center and gain and have more space. So you wouldn't want to play e5 to try and instigate things opening, but you could play d5. In fact, that white plays d5 before black would get a chance to move the pawn a second time. And then, well, question to the knight. It's not really putting the question to the knight. That's something that happens with the bishop g5 out there. Putting the question to the bishop, bishop on g5, pawn h6. But there is a question to this knight right now. Where do you guys think it should go? Would it be happy on knight a5? Knight's on the rim or grim, but it's threatening c4. If it goes to a5, it's threatening the pawn on c4, which currently has no defenses. Can it go to e5? That would open up things via the exchange, and then maybe this bishop would really come into play, right? Or I'm looking, I don't think knight b8 and then knight d7 are really the best choices. Let's see what's played. We've played enough. Knight e5. Okay, that also works. I should have mentioned that as an option. Hello, Chris. Wake up. And then knight g3. So white gets the knight out of the way of the bishop. And right here, I mean, let's look at some options for black. Let's look at some options for black. What should black be doing? Should the bishop go to d7, just so it's off the back row? That would be an option. What about playing pawn e6? Attacking the front of the pawn chain isn't necessarily as good as attacking the back, right? But on the other side of the coin, you're threatening to open up the center when white is there and you are not. Those two seem very likely to me. Pawn a6 is a good move because it stops it stops white from getting any ideas of knight b5 for whatever reason. Certainly makes sense. In fact, it could also prepare for a b5 push after. So you could play a6, bishop d7, then b5. Let's see, h5. Austin May's coming at it. All right, so the knight on g3 is actually a little bit of a target, right? It's a little bit of a target now. Black could play h4 and threaten that knight. I like it. I like h5. That's interesting. Good job, Austin. You're playing interesting chess against Michael Lee. Let's see what Michael does. Michael plays bishop e2, preparing to castle. Now, again, e6 might be encouraging white to castle by way of threatening to open up the center. Then once they castle, then play h4 maybe. Maybe. Let's see what happens. h4 right away. Okay. That's forcing. And where does this knight go, ladies and gentlemen? Does this knight need to go to f1? Is that really what I'm seeing? Seriously? It looks like it has to go to f1. Yep, it goes f1. And then black plays e6 to try and stir things up, open up the center a little bit. You don't want to close center if your opponent's king is stuck there. And there, so white has more space, and black is threatening to open up the center because they have better king safety. Bishop g5. White improves their bishop, and in doing so, takes away powers from the knight on f6, and the knight on f6 was helping with this idea of exd5. And then h3. Wow. This h-pawn. Austin's got an idea, and he's sticking to it, right? We saw it go here, then there, and now here. That's a lot of tempo to invest in one pawn like this. Threatening the weak g2. What do you do? What do you do? Do you play gx h3? I think you do. I think gx h3 makes a lot of sense to me. Alternatively, you could in fact play knight e3, because that would be guarding. You know, now that I'm looking at it, knight e3 guards g2. So that would also be playable. I like knight e3. We don't like the knight on f1 anyways. I do not know this opening line. Austin May probably does, which is why he's played it. You aren't going to see, you know, these kind of helter-skelter pawn scampers down the side of the board when you're castled behind that pawn, unless from a player of his stature, unless he's quite familiar with it. White plays g4. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. Interesting. Interesting. I'm starting not to like white's position so much with all these holes that are now inside white's position. Yeah, white has extra space, but on the other side of the coin, there's so many holes, and the center could open up, and there's like all these weak points now. Ex d5, opening the center. Knight takes d5. And this is where we're at. What do you guys think? Would you rather be white or black here? I think I would rather be black. I mean, if I'm black, I'm going to be playing bishop e6. Get that bishop in the game. This pawn could end up being weak later on. But right now, you know, I'd rather have a weak pawn in a safe king than vice versa, which is what white's trying to deal with. Now, I need to say that the game between Leonid Udison and David Berkses is not being broadcast because Leonid Udison is following the Jewish law regarding playing chess after sunset on Friday. So the game's not being broadcast, but it did finish in a draw already. So maybe very soon I will show you how that happened. But right now we cannot. Up. And just as I say that, apparently the game has been uploaded since it was played. So we have a London. And it looks like this is going to be a friendly Grandmaster draw in the London. Yep. If this is the true result, if the half-half is the true result, it's just a friendly Grandmaster draw in the London system. So sorry for any of the fans of the London system. You probably wanted to see a little bit more from a grandmaster like Leonid Udison using it against a grandmaster like David Berkes. But unfortunately, it appears that they agreed to a draw. All right. And let's see. Where did we leave off? See, I'm keeping notes so I can catch you guys up where I left off. Was this? Let me make sure. No, this was the Slav game. Let me see. All right. Well, I don't remember where we left off. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay. So take. Oh yeah. So Josiah has said he's probably not going to be castling, and then he plays a4. This is very very creative chess on Josiah's part and dangerous. Rook d8, c5, grabbing more space. Wonder what he's going to do with his queen. It's not really ideally posted here anymore. Maybe it should move. Nope, he plays a5 first. And we're waiting to see what Lu Ming is going to play. I'm, pretty confident that Lu Ming would be out of any sort of book knowledge and a little uncomfortable by Josiah's play. But that's why chess is not a game that you memorize your way through. It's a game you have to understand. You have to understand what's really happening on the chessboard. I mean, is b6 really that bad? Then if cx b6, ax b6, and you've opened a file for your rook, is that really that bad? That might be something. Maybe knight b to d7 and then do that. Maybe knight b to d7. I think I would probably play knight b to c. E5 is played first. So we're seeing this in real time. Josiah's been playing rather quickly, so we'll keep it here. If you are joining us tonight, feel free to say hello in the chat. I'm going to run some ads. I will be right back. I will be running a free online chess club for everyone who wants to learn. To further this idea, I published a mission statement for Daily Chess Musings that reads, "All those who want to learn chess are welcome here." Our free weekly chess club begins with a live meeting Wednesday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Time. Remember, you do not need to attend the weekly meetings when they are live to participate, and all students have an entire week to complete their suggested lessons. In this way, the Daily Chess Musings free weekly chess club is 100% flexible to your needs and schedule. New instructions and assignments will be given every Wednesday. If you have to miss a week, no worries. I will make all of the videos and assignments freely available on dailychessmusings.com so you can catch up when it's convenient. Special prizes will also be awarded for top performers in different categories. Plus, we will hold regular tournaments on Fridays and Saturdays, along with special events including scheduled matches between groups, simuls, group chess, and blitz games against me, Coach Chris. So what's the catch? There isn't one. I just want to give everybody the same opportunity to benefit from chess that I had as a child. For over 20 years, I have paved the way for the success of thousands of children regardless of their entry-level skill. By training with me, you will gain the valuable tools and skills needed to excel as a chess player. An extraordinary chess club experience with a top-tier instructor, the confidence and motivation necessary to surpass your chess goals and fast-track improvement. And welcome back, players. Again, my name is Chris Torres. This is Daily Chess Musings. And we are looking at the Mission 360 tournament. The Mission 360 Bay Area GMIM Invitational Norm Tournament. Fantastic, fantastic event. And you are watching live. Again, we are watching games from Grandmaster Gabor Nagy, Grandmaster Leonid Udison, Grandmaster David Berkseys, Grandmaster Erkley, no, FIDE Master Erkley, someday, probably Grandmaster Erkley, but FIDE Master Erkley, International Master Josiah Stearman, International Master Michael Lee, I am Vyam Vidyarthi, FIDE Master Maria Malika, FIDE Master Austin May, and FIDE Master Ming Lu. So very, very exciting stuff we are watching, and I am happy to be here with you. So let's get back to the action, and there we are. So we've got E5 has been played. And it was before I went to break. That's right. So we're waiting to see what Josiah is going to do. My guess is, well, I mean, it's really hard to tell. Josiah's been playing some interesting, very creative chess. This bishop seems to want to get into the game, though. Is it going to go here, or is it going to go there? We'll find out from Josiah soon. Let's see. We've got Gabor Nagy versus Vyam Vidyarthi. And let's see. White has just castled. And what do we expect from black here? What do we expect? I'm gonna say let's get the bishop in the game. Let's get your bishop in the game. So that's my prediction for black. Develop a piece. Unify your rooks. Unify the rooks. And then let's see over here. Moving right along. This one's transitioning quickly, and again this rook looks very misplaced on a3. Very misplaced. Now you're being contested in the open file, but you don't have a rook here to support your control of that file, or fighting for control of that file. Let's see how we got here. Let's rewind just a little bit. So white had castled. The queen went to c7, that's right, relocating the queen. Rook d1. f6 was played. I predicted that. And then rook a to d8. Now I like black's position. This rook is in the wrong spot. And if you do this, it costs you time, right? What can black do with that time? If rook a to a1, and it might need to be played, then probably the reason they put the queen on c7 is so they could play f5. And then they've got something, because then they could potentially play e4, and then the queen sees all the way across, right? And then maybe at some point this rook can move up and over, or the other rook, right? They'll have well, no, not the other rook, because there's a white rook staring it down. But yeah, there's some things that can happen here. I think white should reconnect their rooks, reunify the rooks. Hello, Arcane Doctrine, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show tonight. We are watching another top level chess tournament, top-notch chess tournament played in San Jose, California. We've got players, a lot of international players. We have Maria Malika representing Poland. We've got David Berkseys from Hungary, and Leonid Udison. And they are all live in the Bay Area. Plus, a whole bunch of young, local, top-notch talent trying to earn their titles. Welcome to the show. All right, and let's go forward one more position, and let's see what's happened since we were last here. All right, so as I was saying, in this kind of position, you gotta prefer black because black has a weak pawn, but white has a king that's going to be exposed very soon. Let's see, EXD5. Ah, interesting. Arcane Doctrine. This is a. I wonder if I can change category while I am live. Can you do that? Are you allowed to change categories while you are live? Because chess has 1.9 million followers. I think you can. You know what? I'm going to run an ad just for a moment, and we're going to change. I will be running a free online chess club for everyone who wants to learn. To further this idea, I published a mission statement for Daily Chess Musings that reads, "All those who want to learn chess are welcome here." Our free weekly chess club begins with a live meeting Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. Remember, you do not need to attend the weekly meetings when they are live to participate, and all students have an entire week to complete their suggested lessons. In this way, the Daily Chess Musings free weekly chess club is 100% flexible to your needs and schedule. New instructions and assignments will be given every Wednesday. If you have to miss a week, no worries. I will make all of the videos and assignments freely available on dailychessmusings.com so you can catch up when it's convenient. Special prizes will also be awarded for top performers in different categories. Plus, we will hold regular tournaments on Fridays and Saturdays, along with special events including scheduled matches between groups, simul's, group chess, and blitz games against me, Coach Chris. So what's the catch? There isn't one. I just want to give everybody the same opportunity to benefit from chess that I had as a child. For over 20 years, I have paved the way for the success of thousands of children regardless of their entry-level skill. By training with me, you will gain the valuable tools and skills needed to excel as a chess player. An extraordinary chess club experience with a top-tier instructor, the confidence and motivation necessary to surpass your chess goals and fast-track improvement.
Hey everybody, Shelby from American Chess Equipment. That's www.amchesseq.com. We're the official chess supplier of Daily Chess Musings. Now, if you're a tournament chess player or just need something for the home, check out our new clocks here. This is our Bobby Fischer chess clock made by DGT. It's the DGT North American, just with different colors and way better instructions. Now, if you really want a high-end chess clock, your kid wants a Chronos, but...
I'm still hearing the commercial. Okay, there it goes. All right. Can you... Oh. Now I'm hearing myself. Why am I hearing an echo? Yeah, something's going on. I changed the category, but I'm hearing myself a few moments afterwards. Thank you for that, Arcane Doctrine. But why am I hearing my own broadcast now? Oh, we must have left open. Yeah, got it. Everybody heard Megan say "oh" as well. Yeah, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And there is no echo for the audience. Wonderful.
That's my phone.
So we are all we are all situated nicely. I am watching, and I am broadcasting tonight from Northern California. We are watching the Bay Area Chess. Um, it's actually the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess GM Norm Tournament number 2. Um, hey, you know what, Arcane Doctrine? It's very fortunate that you're my favorite. You're my favorite follower. You gave me a tip, and I think it's really gonna help. This is the second Mission 360 Bay Area chess tournament, and players are trying to FIDE masters are trying to get their IM International Master, and International Masters are trying to get their GM norms. Norms, you have to get like 3 of them, and then you have to have a certain rating. For an IM, you have to have 2400. Thank you so much again, Arcane Doctrine. This is going to help our channel grow. I'm certain of it. We already have. I'm excited. Up to 34 followers now. Wow! I haven't even been at this very long. Before you know it, it'll be like YouTube. We'll have a bunch of followers, I'm sure. All right, so let me switch to the GM tourney slideshow so you can see pictures of our players while I am doing my stuff. All right, so, and I am back at the looking at the chessboards again. So EXD5 was played. Black's trying to open up the center on White's king. Knight takes. No bishop e6 as predicted. What I was thinking was going to be played was not played. And why knight d7, Austin? What are you thinking? Let me see. Why move the knight back? He doesn't want the knight getting hit by f4, perhaps. He doesn't want the knight getting hit by f4. I like bishop e6. So knight e to d7. Queen to d2. What's going on here? The queen bishop battery against a fianchettoed bishop. White wants to exchange. Wants to exchange bishop for bishop. Almost always a good thing. Knight to b6. And then knight f to e3. So White's pieces have started getting in the game now. A little while ago, we were looking at the position, and it seemed like these are happening in real time and are over the board. Yes, these games are in real time and over the board. I sent an email to the nice folks at chess.com, and it's being broadcast on, it's a chess.com event. These are happening live right now. It is, this round started at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It is now 8:17 p.m. Pacific time. It is a 9-round tournament, a round-robin tournament. In fact, let me show you the schedule of events. Whoops, not the ad. Here we go. So here's our schedule of events. I don't know how many rounds I'm going to be able to cover. I mean, it takes a lot of energy almost as much energy as it takes to play to do these. I did a whole bunch last weekend, but I'm doing round 1. Round 2 is, and it'll be on chess.com. Even if I'm not live explaining the moves to you, you can see the games on chess.com. Saturday 11:30 and then Saturday 5:30. Sunday 10 a.m. Sunday 4 p.m. And then round 6 is Monday 10 a.m. Round 7 is Monday 4 p.m. Round 8 is Tuesday April 5th at 10 a.m. And then finally, the final round, which is an exciting one to see who might get a new title or a new norm, is round 9, and that's going to be April 5th, 4 o'clock p.m. Now, interesting. It's worth noting that in the first tournament that we broadcast, Robert Shlyatenko got his International Master title officially. He is now an IM elect. So we've already made it happen for one California chess player, and that's very, very exciting. In fact, let me go to my blog. Um, you can see all this information on dailychessmusings.com. I have a really cool blog. At least I think it's really cool. There's Francisco Anchondo, a good friend of mine from up here. And then, yeah, it says the inaugural. Let me make sure you can see all this on your screen. You cannot, so I'm going to switch to web browser view. There we go. It says the inaugural Mission 360 Bay Area Chess GM Norm Invitational is in the books. Kudos to Grandmaster Jin Chao Zhao, who came all the way from China and took first place. Congratulations are also in order to fellow Californian Robert Schlietenko, who, by finishing second place, passed 2,400 FIDE and is thus now an IM elect. So that happened last weekend while you were watching my broadcast, hopefully. Who knows what we're going to see this weekend? Who knows what we're going to see this weekend? All right, so back to our games. Let's go to board number 1. Let's see what's happening. Josiah's surprising me almost with every move. Check out Josiah Stearman's play here. I am Josiah Stearman, a good friend of mine. He goes to UC Berkeley. Is playing really provocative chess once again. So he's threatening, he's harassing the black's light squared bishop. And then watch what he does here. G3. So he's played G3, F3, E3, right? He's created a zone of weakness around his own king. But he's taking important squares from his opponent. It's like all in. All in. I don't know what the opening's called. That's a good question. He's playing it against the Slav. It started off as like a traditional Slav, right? D4, D5, C4, C6. And then we have a full Slav right here. A full Slav. A Slav is like a London from the black side. He's using the fact that black is playing a more defensive natured opening, not striking for more than just maintaining one center pawn. He's using that fact to be very creative. And this is the first time I've ever seen the white play this way against the Slav. We may be seeing actual innovation. And here I was predicting one of, what is this bishop going to do? It could go either route. To me, it looks like it has two reasonable squares. And then Josiah plays knight a4, as if to say, think even harder about the possible playing b6. And then he doesn't play bishop d3. He only plays bishop e2. So my prediction was wrong about his bishop. So very creative chess from Josiah Stearman. If the center opens up, this could end up badly for him. But right now he seems fine. I mean, his rook is in the same file as black's queen. Nothing is in the same file as his king. Nothing of any danger, right? These pieces over here are keeping the position closed. Black has a hard time playing b6 to try and force things open over there. If b6 is played and things are forced open, then I'm predicting that Josiah's king would go to f2, so the rooks are unified and he could fight for the a file. So I don't really see how black's going to punish white for creating all this space around his king. I just don't see it. But maybe Ming Lu will come up with something. Let us move to game 2. And if you're just joining us, this is my name is Chris Torres. I'm a correspondence chess master. This is Daily Chess Musings. It is more than a Twitch channel. It is a community. I have a website, a club on chess.com, And we are watching games live from the second Mission 360 Bay Area GMIM Invitational. And I kind of like White's position in this game. Both bishops are good. Both bishops are really good, and you can't say the same about Black. This bishop's really having a hard time finding. Let me review how we got here real fast. So it started out with an English, and then we had this kind of bishop b4 move followed by knight d5, threatening the bishop again, so the bishop goes back to e7 kind of idea. It's almost like a Trumpowski attack, similar in style, but yet completely different because it's on the other side of the board. Then d4, creating some early tension here. Early tension. For all intents and purposes, it almost seems like Black wasted time on the whole bishop exercise. And White fianchettoed their bishop, creates a long diagonal for the dark bishop. Has their rook centralized, and has a weaker pawn, a pawn that can only be supported by pieces. So I like White's position a little bit better here. A pawn chain like we see here tends to be advantageous for White. White's the pawn at the top of the chain is helping to control some key squares. The knight is also helping with that, right? Oops. So you got the, hang on, let me get the arrow. There we go. We got the knight and the bishop helping to control these. And check it out. This bishop is indirectly helping to control c6 as well. So maybe we're going to see f3. Adding pressure to that weak pawn, threatening to open diagonals up for the bishops. And then we'll probably see if any sort of exchange happens there. I would guess we would see a rook a go to e1 to challenge the queen for control of the e file. And if White takes control of the e file and controls more space, Black's in serious trouble. Black is in serious trouble. And right now, Vyam Vidyarthi is contemplating that. He is playing Grandmaster Gabor Nagy. And Gabor is also from Hungary. So David Xerxes and Gabor Nagy are from Hungary. What was played? H3. Okay. Interesting. Takes the important g4 square away from 3 possible pieces. Plus, gives your king the ability to go to h2, which could be very useful in certain circumstances. So, yeah, h3 takes g4 away from 3 of Black's pieces. What do you do if you're Black here? What do you think? This knight's not doing us any favor where it is. You could add more support to your pawn on e4 simply by moving it to g6. That's a definite possibility. That's the one I'm going to go with. There's some other, c-pawn movements. The c-pawn could go up once or twice. Twice attacks the knight. If there's a en passant capture, then it ends up being the same as if it moved up once. I like to draw arrows on my predictions and see how close. See how close I get. Okay, so I'm starting to, let's see here. So, let's go back. All right, so right here I liked Black's position better because they're fighting for control of the d file, but their rooks are unified and White's rooks are not. And so it takes one extra tempo for white to move their rook back. And so right here I was suggesting now would be the perfect time for Eric to play f5. But he played king h8. It takes away the ability of white's queen to deliver a check to it, but it also costs a moment of time, also known as a tempo. And that moment of time seems important right now in this kind of position. I think playing f5 right away, keeping the initiative, would have been good. So usually we call that coordinated when knights are mutually defending each other. It's unified when it's the back rank and it's two rooks. So it's a little bit of different terminology. Excellent question, but I think Eric Lee missed possibly a key moment here, because when Eric Lee plays rook a to d8, he is in fact taking the initiative because it's forcing white to defend their rook. So now it's black's move again, kind of controlling the serve. And right here, f5 keeps the initiative. King h8, a preparatory move to take away the checks from white's queen, costs time. So now, sometimes it's best to have knights coordinated, sometimes it's not. I know that's a kind of a cop-out answer. Arcane Doctrine, good question. But sometimes it behooves you to have the knights controlling different squares. So you control more squares total. Other times, it is better to have two knights working on the same square so they give each other the option of moving to that square safely. So it really depends on the situation. I can think of famous games where both are true. So with knights, knights are so unique, right? Knights are such unique pieces. It really depends. Depends on the situation. Here we have knights working together, right? We see the two knights working together here. This means that if one of black's knights, one of black's knights were to take white's knight, white could take back with their and reload a knight, right? So there it works. It works well. And in fact, I'm kind of thinking we might see this. In fact, I'll go ahead and leave the arrows there. What a timely question, Arcane Doctrine. We just went to a different game where oh, and these clocks should be accurate, by the way. The time control for these tournaments is G90 with a 30-second increment. That means 30 seconds added to each move. So we are seeing chess of the highest level. We're seeing Grandmaster chess, International Master chess. Very top-notch chess. Played at a pretty rapid clip for classical chess. This is still considered classical, but it's pretty gosh darn fast for classical chess. Let's see. Let's go back to board one. If you're in the room, feel free to chat with me like Arcane Doctrine is. I enjoy the conversation. I don't have a co-host tonight, so having somebody to talk to is wonderful. It makes the experience less lonely. Okay, so black has put a rook into the file with white's king. And of course, one of the implied threats here is, opening that e file up, right? That's what black's thinking. If you're white, I mean, you might want to just get the heck out. You might want to get the heck out of that file if you're Josiah Stearman right now, because that is dangerous. That is a dangerous thing. And like I was suggesting, is possibly f2 might be. It kind of strikes me as a Josiah kind of move. I'm not saying it's best, but um, Josiah has a way of playing very creative, provocative chess. He's a genius. He's a creative chess genius. And nope. See, I keep getting Josiah's wrong. So I can guess the other masters moves. Keep getting Josiah wrong. But that's good. Basically, I'm here to try and understand these moves. They're teaching in real time. They're teaching chess in real time. These are extremely high level games. Um, and it is a privilege to watch it happen in real time because normally I'm database surfing. I'm going through databases and looking at all these games as they happened in um, history. And let us see. Okay, so DXC. Let's see what just happened. Um, Black just played C5, and DXC. Yeah. DXC6 was played on passant, and then BXC6 is played, and now I believe I had been predicting Rook A to D1. So take, and then forming a battery in the D file. This is what a rook belongs in the D file. It's a file that is semi-open, likely to open, and it's screaming for a rook. And then we've got Maria Malika versus Eric Lee. King H8 was played, that's right. And King H8, again, I'm a little critical of because then White lost their initiative. White plays B4. Yeah, I'm just really not too thrilled about the King H8 move. Now White is threatening, for sure White's threatening to play B5, which forks the knight and pawn, which means the A rook would get an open file. So B5 is threatening to get an open file for the rook. And then once the rook's in an open file and the knight's moved, then so like B5, if you see boom, boom, then the knight has to go somewhere. What? Knight E7, and then you see rook A7. And then this is attacked twice already. Yeah, this could get really bad. Really bad, really fast. If it was White's move right now, it would already be bad. If it was White's move, um, the fact that it's Black's move, we just got to wait and see what Eric has in mind. I mean, he played the King H8 move. He must have foresaw that B4 was a possibility. So what does he have in mind? And let's see. Then there's Michael Lee versus Austin May. Michael Lee from Washington State, Austin May from the South Bay area, the South Bay in California. Um, oh, let me get back to that other one. Um, so trading rooks. So for example, if Austin, this is a good question. Arcane Doctrine says, is there a way to determine when one should trade rooks when they're directly across from each other? Probably right now would not be a good time to do that for Black because in trading, you give White control of the center after the exchange. Um, although, I guess he could reload, right? He could reload. Um, and that's really what it comes down to. That's how you can determine if trading gives your opponent control of the center. Right now, both sides are fighting for this D file. They're fighting for control of the D file. If trading gives one side control of the file, then they wouldn't want to, right? Um, and that's how we determine that. Good question. It's another reason why it's important to have your rooks unified. It's another reason why it is important to have your rooks unified. Back here, I was contemplating options. Ideally, white would like to keep a knight here. And that's what I'm calculating right now. Ideally, you would like to keep a knight on your opponent's side of the board defended. One of black's knights is pinned to their queen, so one of their knights already cannot take back. But now that black's added this bishop, it means he has two pieces to exchange for knights. And he would be willing to exchange a bishop for a knight. So if like knight takes, and then bishop takes, yeah, he would be happy to do that. But it's white's turn. It's white's turn. And I'm trying to figure out if we can maintain a knight there. I don't think so. I think black has just told us to go away. So certainly we could go away. That would be one option. And that's a fine option. Because if this knight goes here, it could hop up back here and threaten that. Double up on the weak pawn. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I mean, you could exchange, but that's trading your good knight for their pin knight, which leads to more exchanges. So I am totally in favor right now of white doing a repositioning, going away from there because we can't maintain it on that outpost any longer, and then trying to come back up here, targeting d6. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if that happens. So my name is Chris Torres. I am a longtime chess coach. I am the Cal Chess editor. So I cover these events anyways for a magazine, the Cal Chess Journal. However, as long as I'm going to have to cover them anyways, I might as well cover them live, right? I am also the Cal Chess Scholastic Coordinator. So a lot of the players that we're seeing today, I've seen grow up and play in all the Scholastic tournaments. I've been watching them for years and years. So that's kind of neat too. So I have unique insights and interest in what we're seeing in Northern California right now. And what we are seeing is fantastic chess. And Josiah, did he just he just castled? See, I am never guessing Josiah's moves correctly today. I'm just not doing it. Black, however, looming. I mean, rook a to d8. That's going to be my guess there. Let's get the final piece. Black has touched all their other pieces. They want to you want to touch them all, right? Get them all into the game. All right. So real quick, we move back. Let's see. What was I predicting here? Oh, yes. I was predicting the knight to return to g6, which it did not. Black played c5. There's the en passant. I did mention the rook a to d1, and then what do you do? Black's a little cramped here. Black's a little cramped. White's controlling a lot of the key squares, and they're trying to hang on to this D5 is played. Certainly, I was just going to suggest that maybe you play D5. Makes the E4 pawn a lot more secure. A lot more secure. But there is some weakness, right? There's still this pawn out here. Is white going to play queen A5? Queen A5 adds pressure to D5 while attacking A7. So I'm going to go with queen A5. That's going to be, that's the grandmaster move. Gets the queen out of the same file as your opponent's rook, which is good. It moves the queen to where it threatens a isolated pawn. Good. And it puts it on, it adds a pressure to a square that's under contention, which is the D5 square. So I'm almost certain we're going to see Gabor Nagy play queen A5. And let's see. White has played 20b4, and like I said, Eric Lee lost some time when he played king h8 to avoid. He was worried about like queen c4 check or something, and he lost some valuable time on this. And now white is threatening to play b5. I really like Maria's position. Eric is one of our local guys, and he's also one of the founders of Mission 360. The nonprofit started by two FIDE masters in high school, Eric Lee and Kevin Pan, and they are the formal organizers for this. They're working with another local nonprofit, Bay Area Chess, who's working with another local nonprofit, Cal Chess, who received funding from another. Mission 360 received funding from another nonprofit foundation, the EAD Foundation. So everybody in Northern California is helping each other, and that's why these things happen. Let's see. I'm going to run an ad, and I will be right back. I will be running a free online chess club for everyone who wants to learn. To further this idea, I published a mission statement for Daily Chess Musings that reads, "All those who want to learn chess are welcome here." Our free weekly chess club begins with a live meeting Wednesday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Time. Remember, you do not need to attend the weekly meetings when they are live to participate, and all students have an entire week to complete their suggested lessons. In this way, the Daily Chess Musings free weekly chess club is 100% flexible to your needs and schedule. New instructions and assignments will be given every Wednesday. If you have to miss a week, no worries. I will make all of the videos and assignments freely available on dailychessmusings.com so you can catch up when it's convenient. Special prizes will also be awarded for top performers in different categories. Plus, we will hold regular tournaments on Fridays and Saturdays, along with special events including scheduled matches between groups, simul's, group chess, and blitz games against me, Coach Chris. So what's the catch? There isn't one. I just want to give everybody the same opportunity to benefit from chess that I had as a child. For over 20 years, I have paved the way for the success of thousands of children regardless of their entry-level skill. By training with me, you will gain the valuable tools and skills needed to excel as a chess player. An extraordinary chess club experience with a top-tier instructor, the confidence and motivation necessary to surpass your chess goals and fast track improvement.
Hey everybody, Shelby from American Chess Equipment. That's www.amchesseq.com. We're the official chess supplier of Daily Chess Musings. Now, if you're a tournament chess player or just need some for the home, check out our new clocks here. This is our Bobby Fischer chess clock made by DGT. It's the DGT North American, just with different colors and way better instructions. Now, if you really want a high-end chess clock, your kid wants a Chronos, but they're hard to find, or Chronoses are impossible to use. What you really want is you want the VTech. The VTech is something designed by me, Shelby Lorman, for the tournament chess player. It's easy enough for people my age, I'm in my 40s, to use. You don't have to hand it off to an 8-year-old to get set. If you want something really cool, we can do customization for you. We can customize clocks, we can customize boards, we can customize scorebooks. If your kid has a habit of losing stuff and you're sick of replacing chess equipment, check out our items here. Now, if your kid has a habit of losing his chess clock, this is something that we can do for you that nobody else can. It looks like a normal, everyday, high-end chess clock, right? Now, let's flip this around. You can see it's got my face on it and everything else. This is a vinyl ink that's very hard to come off. So even if your kid loses it, nobody's going to be able to keep it. Something really nice for the house, you gotta check out our wood sets and boards right here. Now, if you want something nice for the house, I'd recommend something like this. This is our 20-inch pedestal board with our Zagreb set. Let me get this set up for you. Are we the end-all be-all for chess equipment? Maybe not. But we support Scholastic Chess, especially here in Southern California. And if there's anything you need, even if I don't sell it, I can help you find wherever you need to go. So, remember, American Chess Equipment, www.amchesseq.com for all your chess needs.
Hi, I am James Eade of the Eade Foundation. Who am I and what is the Eade Foundation? That's the subject of this video today. I am a chess player from way back when I was in high school. I would win adult tournaments as well as high school scholastic type of tournaments. I got very good. I could even challenge grandmasters and I could fight them. But I wasn't really as good as most of them. So I started to do other things. I would write chess books, for example. I wrote countless articles, 5 total chess books. And I did a lot of other things like organizing international master tournaments, grandmaster tournaments, various tournaments of various types, FIDE Futurities, that sort of thing. And I did a lot of chess. And in 2018, the United States Chess Federation gave me the Outstanding Career Achievement Award. So that's a little bit about me. But what about the Eade Foundation? What's the Eade Foundation? The Eade Foundation was started to help build communities through chess. Chess is what I did. Chess is what I knew. This is the way I could help other.
And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. We are watching the, let's see, I keep forgetting the name of the tournament I'm broadcasting. The second Mission 360 Bay Area GMIM Invitational Norm Tournament. That's what we're watching. Live. It's live. It's from San Jose, California. I live in Northern California. And this is very, very exciting. I got myself, during the break, I got myself some orange flavored LaCroix bubble water. It's good stuff. It's not my favorite flavor, though. I like the pamplemousse, which is a French word for grapefruit. There you have it. Now you know. Okay, let's see. So we're still waiting. Eric Lee must know about the threat of B5, and we're still waiting to see how he's going to respond to that. He's worried about it, for sure. And then Michael Lee plays Rook G1. I didn't expect that. I I was expecting the knight to return to c3 and then go to b5. So he plays rook g1. Why? Why? Why did he play rook g1 there? Could he be planning? Could he be planning to play f4 and needed the rook to support g4? I think he is. I think he's planning f4 and f5. Very, very aggressive. But, you know, we'll see if I'm reading his minds. Every time a strong player plays a move, they're telling me something. Chess is a conversation. Let's see, where else? I'm watching these moves live, trying to understand them just like you guys are. And we have two... What am I saying, two? We have 4 games going. Josiah Stearman plays a6. So black does not want to play b6. They do not. That would be playing into Josiah's hands. Instead, what do they want to do? I'm going to guess rook b8. Put a rook in the same file as your opponent's queen. I'd be all over that opportunity as Ming Lu. I'm going to switch to the thumbnail. I forgot to do that. So here's our Grandmaster tourney slideshow, so you can see what the players look like. I went ahead and preloaded. Tomorrow I'll reformat it, make it look a little nicer. So all the photos are the same size, but this way you get to see what all the players look like. I'll also put their names on their photos. Gabor Nagy. He did play. He played the queen a5. Terrific. That was a good move. So again, queen a5 is threatening a7 and adding pressure to d5. This is very important. It's just a beautiful move. And in fact, it is also influencing d8, which the rook could potentially, I mean, if the d file opens, that could be very useful. Black plays bishop e6, and white plays f4. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do you play here? EX f3, I guess. Yeah. EX f3 and then EX f3. And that's kind of playing it. Yep, here we go. We're going to see some moves fast. Seeing Gabor Nagy take charge here. I'm expecting EX f3. 100%. Let's see if I'm wrong. But I'm expecting EX f3. And then this pawn is still under... Yep, this pawn's still under attack. But there's some big problems in the fact that the rook and the rook are lined up. So things are opening up nicely. Things are opening up nicely for white when you really look at how white's pieces are operating. It is just outstanding. Just outstanding. White's pieces are tremendously better than black's. In fact, there's a fork here too, right? The obvious knight fork. So this knight goes there, and then it's forking these two. Let me erase these others. Is that just a basic knight fork as well? Why, yes, it is. Make things clear. So, yep, you can't allow knight c. Oh, wait, this is defending it. Okay, yeah, that is defending it. But see, herein lies the thing. If you got one piece that's defending it, is white threatening to play f4? threatening the knight, and then knight takes c6. Probably. What do you do here as black? I mean, white's pieces are just tremendously better. What are you going to do? We'll find out. Vidyarthi is a good chess player. Eric Lee plays rook d8, so he is exchanging the rooks. Getting the extra stuff off the board first. Boom, boom, and then black controls the file. So then you probably want to create a luft. And then the bishop should be superior to the knight, and you've got 3 pawns against 2. So I'm guessing that Maria is going to trade rooks. She's got a 3-on-2. Pawns on the queen side. So trade rooks, take a bishop versus knight endgame. If you could trade queens, that would even be good as well, right? I don't see how you could trade queens right off the bat. But trade the rooks, and then you've got a queen bishop versus queen knight endgame, where you've got 3 against 2. 3 minus 2 equals 1 pass pawn on the queen side. So the big defining difference here is the bishop versus knight is better for white in this kind of endgame, open endgame, should be. And then the other thing is the 3-on-2 pawns on the queen side. I'm working on some other exciting events that I can't wait to tell viewers of my channel about. Stay tuned. It's coming soon. In the meantime, let me see if I can get some more coffee. Looks like my wife's telling me I forgot to respond to somebody. More coffee, please. I forgot to respond to somebody's text. Oh, no. People, see, all these different ways of communicating with me. There's, Facebook Messenger. There's, what do you call that? That other chat thing. I think it's also owned by Facebook, by the way. There are so many different ways to communicate with me that, yeah, I lose track. I'm getting much better at responding to emails, though. It's only taken me, 20-something years, but I'm getting emails responded to a little bit faster. Part of that is because Gmail is just awesome. I mean, I hit reply and it already types in a sentence for me. It's like, do you want to say thank you? Yeah, I'll do it. Gmail somehow predicts a lot of my responses. Let us go to B5 was played. What is going on here? What is going on? What did I miss in Josiah's game? All right, so Josiah played A6, and then I was saying Rook B8, but Rook B8 was not played. Knight C4 was, so I guess very much wrong. Certainly you don't like this knight hanging out, threatening to fork your queen and rook. So, and your bishop is kind of not so great anyway, so Josiah gets rid of it. Queen goes back to defend the bishop, and then black plays B5, threatening the knight. I'm starting to not like white's position here. It's starting to seem like sometimes when you play very creative chess, you get a little too cute. You get a little too creative, and it's starting to seem that way. And it's starting to seem like black is getting a good position here. Which I try and be objective with our broadcasts. But personally, I am a fan. Outside of the broadcast, I am a fan of Josiah Stearman's chess. So, all right, let's see. Gabor Nagy is pushing ahead as we expected. So I think, we may get decisive games on board 1 and board 2. Board 1 starting to look like black's winning. Board 2, white's starting to look better. Board 3, white's looking good. I like the 3 on 2. And then let's see about board 4. Board 4 is still very unclear to me. Very, very unclear. Michael Lee versus Austin May. IM versus FM. By the way, my name, you are watching, there I am. Ha. You are watching, my name is Chris Torres. You are watching Daily Chess Musings broadcast of the second Mission 360 Bay Area Chess GM IM Norm Invitational Tournament from San Jose, California. I did a lot of these last weekend. I'm doing another one tonight. I would be watching this anyways. I'd be watching this because I am the Cal Chess editor for the Cal Chess Journal. I am also a Scholastic coordinator and a huge fan of chess, especially California chess. So I'd be watching this stuff anyways. Might as well watch it on stream with you guys. It's a rare treat to see such great chess played. Top-notch chess played right here in Northern California. A rare treat for me. Let's see. So we are waiting to see what Michael Lee might play. Let's go back to our other games already in progress. Up and CX. Okay, so B5. En passant was played. AX B6. And that's where we're at. I've been terrible at predicting Josiah's moves tonight. Terrible! But I'm predicting rook a1 to get a rook potentially behind the passed pawn. This is an investment of a lot of time. It is a weak passed pawn. It deserves to have at least a rook behind it. But certainly there are other possible moves. And board 2 is Gabor Nagy versus Viam Vidyarthi. If you're into chess, you know the name Gabor Nagy, Grandmaster from Hungary. White has played f4, attacking black's knight on e5. Thank you for the follow, Vustenigel. Thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. So, White's politely telling black's knight, "Hey, get out of there. Leave. Go away." Question is where to. See, knight c6. if you play knight c6, there's just a lot of problems associated with that. Because then your knight's sitting here, subject to attack again. Plus, black's queen is threatening two different pawns, right? So if knight c6, I mean, queen takes c5 could happen right immediately. In which case this pawn is pinned because you would be attacking. Yeah, so if knight c6, queen takes c5, this and this would be attacking the knight on c6 through the pawn, which means that pawn is pinned. So knight c6 I do not like. Knight g4 is not possible because there's a pawn on h3, right? So does that just leave knight to d7? I think it does. I think black's going to need to play knight e to d7. In which case, yeah, white could take a pawn. But why take a pawn when you could take a file? Rook f to e1. This is what I'm predicting. Knight to d7, followed by rook f e1. Let's see what happens. Moving on to board 3, we have Maria Malika versus Eric Lee. And we've had some chess played here. Let's see. So I like the 3-on-2. Remember, we're having a lot of chess played. So this is where the problem started for Eric Lee. His rook is hanging out ununified. Or I'm sorry, Maria's rook is ununified. Eric strikes at the file. Good move. Maria uses time to reunify her rooks. But then Eric steps to the side to avoid a check from the queen. And that was just a little slow because then b4 is threatening b5. Take, take. And I was expecting an exchange of rooks here again, leading to a 3-on-2 end, 3-on-2 pawn endgame. But what Maria ends up scooting her rook because it is supported on d5. And I guess, you know, can black play knight e7? Oops, knight to e7. Knight e7 looks like a move that makes things a little less clear. A little less clear. Because then the knight's threatening Maria's rook twice. If rook takes, queen takes, right? So knight e7, rook takes, and then queen takes. And then Eric's got the file. Yeah, it's a 3-on-2, but Eric's got the file. Interesting. Interesting. So, you know, I don't, I'm thinking maybe the rook d5 wasn't the best idea. We'll find out. And then board 4, we've got Michael Lee versus Austin May. I haven't made a prediction here. I'm going to go with queen c2. Let's go ahead and make a prediction. Queen to c2. So I draw arrows to make the predictions for what I see happening, and then the players play whatever. Oh, Josiah did play rook a1, so I guess I did predict a Josiah move finally. So rook a1 to add support to the a6 pawn. And now Josiah's got a runaway pass pawn. It's easily dealt with. Black can blockade it couple different ways. I mean, is queen a7 really a bad way of blockading that pawn? But why use the queen when you can use the bishop? So black's going to put a bishop on a7. It's a good square. It's able to blockade. Plus, it was on the same diagonal as the king. Playing white is Josiah Stearman, who is trying to get a Grandmaster norm. He just became an IM this past year, and now he's working on becoming a GM. Certainly has the talent for it. It will happen as long as he keeps playing chess. I see a Grandmaster in his Grandmaster title for him very soon. But this particular game, we have to like black, because this pawn is not going to be allowed to promote, and eventually will be weak. And white's pawn structure is very, very weak. Black's pawn structure, two groups of pawns that are strong. Black's rooks are very nice in the E and D file. See a lot of squares. Yep, gotta like black's position a little bit better. Even king safety wise. Nothing has happened here, but my predictions are there. Knight d7 and rook fd1 is what I'm predicting. So we'll see if Viam... Ah, you know what? We'll keep it here, because look at Viam's time. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. He's starting to feel the pressure. Now, there is a 30-second increment, so... My name is Chris Torres. I'm a correspondence chess master. I'm the editor for the Cal Chess Journal, Northern California's official chess magazine. And I'm the Cal Chess Scholastic Coordinator. Quite a few of these players are still Scholastic players. They're still in school. Josiah Stearman's in college. Eric Lee is just starting high school. A lot of our players from California are on the very young side, and they're getting to do this. Viam Vidyarthi, I think, just graduated high school not too long ago, I want to say. He went to a nice school in the South Bay. See, I know these players. I've watched them play for years and years. It's exciting to see them now playing international level chess. I mean, first you see them at the local little chess quads, Scholastic chess quads. Then you see them at the regional tournaments and the state level tournaments, and then the nationals, and then you start seeing them compete internationally and earning international titles. I was wrong. Knight g6 is played. Still, I'm predicting rook f to e1. Still, I am predicting rook f to e1. I mean, white could take some pawns. But I say take the file first. But I'm not Grandmaster Gabor Nagy from Hungary. So we'll find out. We'll find out. By the way, these are... let me see. I don't see anybody chatting. I'm going to click the chat on the chess.com as well. Anybody chatting on chess.com? Nope. Nope. No chatter for these games. I mean, hopefully people see the value in watching top level chess versus always just playing like speed chess. You're not gonna improve. I mean, speed chess is fun, right? It's an adrenaline rush, but you aren't gonna improve nearly as much as when you try and understand why Josiah Stearman does what Josiah Stearman does, or why Gabor Nagy does what Gabor does, or why Eric Lee does what Eric Lee does. Now, Eric Lee is threatening a back rank mate. We don't think Maria is going to fall for that. So, h3. I think you just create yourself a nice little escape. Why? I mean, the queen is in a good spot, the bishop is in a good spot. Why use those when you can create a luft? So I'm predicting pawn to h3, create the luft. Maria's got a little bit of an edge in this kind of endgame because she has a bishop versus knight and a 3-on-2 on the queen side. So she's got a definite edge. Is it enough to actually win? Eric Lee has really impressed me, so I think he's going to give her a good fight. We are about a couple hours into this round. It started at 7 p.m. My broadcast started a few minutes behind the move. So the round started on time. Again, let me go to the schedule for you. So we are watching hang on. Here's the schedule. We're watching the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess GMIM Invitational Norm Tournament, April 1st through 5th. And round 1, April 1st, 7 p.m. Round 2, Saturday, April 2nd. Round 3 is Saturday, April 2nd, 5:30 p.m. Honestly, you know, I haven't put in like my complete schedule of when, you know, because I got private lessons and other things, other considerations. I do a lot, but I'm gonna try and broadcast a bunch of these rounds for you guys to bring more attention, more awareness to what's happening. It is a 9-round round robin, and you are seeing Gabor Nagy, Leonid Udison, David Berkes. Those are our grandmasters. Then you're seeing International Masters Josiah Stearman, Michael Lee, Vyam Vidyarthi. And then you're seeing FIDE Masters Eric Lee, Maria Malika, Austin May, and Ming Liu. So very, very exciting stuff. Just absolutely, really exciting. And let us... There I am. My name is Chris Torres. You are watching Daily Chess Musings live coverage of all the moves from the GMIM Norm Tournament happening right now in San Jose, California. And I'm starting to kind of make my own little my own uniqueness to my broadcast, and that is drawing an arrow is my move prediction. Rook g3 I did not predict, so going after the weak pawn. Okay. That was the idea behind the earlier rook g1. I'm gonna run some ads. I could use a refresh on my beverage, and then I'll be right back. I will be running a free online chess club for everyone who wants to learn. To further this idea, I published a mission statement for Daily Chess Musings that reads, "All those who want to learn chess are welcome here." Our free weekly chess club begins with a live meeting Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. Remember, you do not need to attend the weekly meetings when they are live to participate, and all students have an entire week to complete their suggested lessons. In this way, the Daily Chess Musings free weekly chess club is 100% flexible to your needs and schedule. New instructions and assignments will be given every Wednesday. If you have to miss a week, no worries. I will make all of the videos and assignments freely available on dailychessmusings.com so you can catch up when it's convenient. Special prizes will also be awarded for top performers in different categories. Plus, we will hold regular tournaments on Fridays and Saturdays, along with special events including scheduled matches between groups, simul's, group chess, and blitz games against me, Coach Chris. So what's the catch? There isn't one. I just want to give everybody the same opportunity to benefit from chess that I had as a child. For over 20 years, I have paved the way for the success of thousands of children regardless of their entry-level skill. By training with me, you will gain the valuable tools and skills needed to excel as a chess player. An extraordinary chess club experience with a top-tier instructor, the confidence and motivation necessary to surpass your chess goals and fast-track improvement.
Hey everybody, Shelby from American Chess Equipment. That's www.amchesseq.com. We're the official chess supplier of Daily Chess Musings. Now, if you're a tournament chess player or just need some for the home, check out our new clocks here. This is our Bobby Fischer chess clock made by DGT. It's the DGT North American, just with different colors and way better instructions. Now, if you really want a high-end chess clock, your kid wants a Chronos, but they're hard to find, or Chronoses are impossible to use. What you really want is you want the VTech. The VTech is something designed by me, Shelby Lorman, for the tournament chess player. It's easy enough for people my age, I'm in my 40s, to use. You don't have to hand it off to an 8-year-old to get set. If you want something really cool, we can do customization for you. We can customize clocks, we can customize boards, we can customize scorebooks. If your kid has a habit of losing stuff and you're sick of replacing chess equipment, check out our items here. Now, if your kid has a habit of losing his chess clock, this is something that we can do for you that nobody else can. It looks like a normal, everyday, high-end chess clock, right? Now, let's flip this around. You can see it's got my face on it and everything else. This is a vinyl ink that's very hard to come off. So even if your kid loses it, nobody's going to be able to keep it. Something really nice for the house, you gotta check out our wood sets and boards right here. Now, if you want something nice for the house, I'd recommend something like this. This is our 20-inch pedestal board with our Zagreb set. Let me get this set up for you. Are we the end-all be-all for chess equipment? Maybe not. But we support Scholastic Chess, especially here in Southern California. And if there's anything you need, even if I don't sell it, I can help you find wherever you need to go. So, remember, American Chess Equipment, www.amchesseq.com for all your chess needs.
Hi, I am James Eade of the Eade Foundation. Who am I and what is the Eade Foundation? That's the subject of this video today. I am a chess player from way back when. When I was in high school, I would win adult tournaments as well as high school scholastic type of tournaments. I got very good. I could even challenge grandmasters and I could fight them. But I wasn't really as good as most of them. So I started to do other things. I would write chess books, for example. I wrote countless articles, 5 total chess books. And I did a lot of other things like organizing international master tournaments, grandmaster tournaments, various tournaments of various types, FIDE Futurities, that sort of thing. And I did a lot of chess. And in 2018, the United States Chess Federation gave me the Outstanding Career Achievement Award. So that's a little bit about me. But what about the Eade Foundation? What's the Eade Foundation? The Eade Foundation was started to help build communities through chess. Chess is what I did. Chess is what I knew. This is the way I could help other people. And by sharing what I had, the resources that I had with those who did not have those resources, I felt that I could make a contribution to society, however incremental it was. It was a contribution. And so I found that this was pretty successful. And it was successful because I would get things like this. These are children in Uganda. These are orphans in Uganda sending me a happy birthday message. And I would get, the Divine Chess Academy was one example. They had to make boards out of the paper. And so I could send them real sets and boards so they could have resources to play. I helped in Zambia, South Africa, and other places. And this is what the EAT Foundation does. We help seniors too. Senior centers can start up and hold, because if we know that if they hold chess tournaments or chess clubs and start them, people keep their minds active. And even though it may not prevent something, a devastating thing like dementia or Alzheimer's, it can delay the onset of symptoms. So this is part of what the EAT Foundation does. The EAT Foundation also has the Arthur Award. The Arthur Award is given for chess excellence. Someone writes an essay every year, and this year's winner was Alexi Root from the University of Texas at Dallas. So these are some of the things that the EAT Foundation does. Help players, regardless of what language you speak, regardless of what country you're from, become part of the chess community. And if you're part of the community, you're never alone. So visit us for more videos on the Chess Files, Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope to see you then, because until then, let's stay connected, be part of a community.
Can you move your leg? Ding, ding, dong. Good job! High five!
The game of chess is a beautiful game because you get to be the king. You get to command an entire army of chess figures. You are in charge. In life, you may not get to make all the decisions yet. In chess, you get to make all the decisions. Greetings, chess players. I am back. My name is Chris Torres. We are watching the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess GMIM Norm Tournament live from San Jose, California. Let me fix my hair real fast. This looks terrible. Looks terrible. Let's get things looking a little better, right? All right, there we go. I am tired though. I'm drinking some coffee at night. Try and get that energy level up for you guys. Let me switch to the GM tournament slideshow so you can see what the players look like. And let's see what we're doing. Josiah's pawn looks still decidedly weak over here on a6. In fact, a lot of his pawns look kind of weak right now. A lot of them do. And black's pieces all look really nicely coordinated. So the queen and rook are coordinated nicely. And the two rooks are coordinated nicely. So we really like black's position here. In Josiah Stearman versus Ming Lu. All right, let's go to the next board. What? What? So the knight goes there, the rook goes there, and then the knight moves, threatening the queen, but this queen's already under attack, so if rook takes e3 and knight takes a5, then rook can then move forward and take again and say check. Black takes back, and then bishop takes knight here, right? Right. Okay. So this looks just straight up winning for white. Straight up winning. Rook takes queen. Knight takes queen. Rook takes e8 check. Rook takes, and then the knight on d5 falls. This knight is going to fall, and white will be a piece up. And Vyam Vidyarthi is low on time as well. To add insult to injury, he is low on time as well. So as soon as, I'm expecting a resignation very quickly. If you are here for the broadcast, say hi. Say hi in the chat. Arcane Doctrine has said hello, asked a couple questions. Feel free to be social. It helps keep my brain sharp to have somebody to talk to. I like to have a co-host. No co-host tonight. I'm flying solo, but doesn't mean I wouldn't still enjoy a conversation. We're going to keep it right on this board because things are getting decisive. I think white's going to win any moment. I think it's going to be official any moment. In fact, let me take a look at the Mission 360 website with you guys. This is a organization started by two teenage FIDE masters. And there we are, Mission 360. When you look at them, about us, you see Kevin Pan and Eric Lee. Like I said, two FIDE masters who are teenagers doing tremendous things, organizing tournaments so that everybody around us has opportunity to, all the top players in California, in the United States, Western United States, has extra opportunities to earn FIDE titles. Tremendous what they're doing. When we look at their event page, you see they did the inaugural. We looked at that. Then we're in the second one here, April 1st through 5th, and there's April 6th through 11th. Then there's a FIDE hybrid, May 7th and 8th. So you're going to be seeing a lot of coverage from me on these events. And let's see, let's get back to our action. And indeed, exactly what I just drew for you occurred. It was pretty obvious, right? See, boom, 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 smack. And white is up a piece. Check. Up. I should have looked a little further. I still like white's position, but they aren't up a full piece. See, I only calculated far enough, but not at the grandmaster level, right? So after this is kind of neat. So this is what I calculated, right? Said, oh, then they win a piece, but look, look, look. Boom! Now black is forking a king and bishop. And white has same amount of pawns, same amount of pieces. But the pawn on c4, pawn on c5 is under attack. Okay, and there's some discontentment in the other room. What could possibly be so discouraging that people are weeping in the living room? Let me quickly say, hey, quiet, a little quieter, please. A little quieter. Please. It always helps to be polite. All right. So this pawn is under attack, and then this knight is going to be under attack. Whoa! So if you really look deep, like Gabor Nagy was, is he going to win this knight? I think he is. Yep. So let's follow this whole combination. How deep did you need to look here? All right. So right here. Right here. Yes. So right here, I was looking what 6, 7 ply deep, and that was not far enough. There's c4. And now this knight is trapped. White's going to play c5 right away. And then c6. So this pawn's just going to start scooting down. And black is... There's the threat of the knight too, right? There's the threat of trapping the knight. This is the problem. So even if you were able to get your king there in time, you would lose the knight. So do you take this opportunity now to play knight b to d7? Nope. See, the rook has to stay in the b file so the knight can come out. The king needs to get the king needs to get in front of this passed pawn. The knight's stuck on the rim, controlled nicely by white's bishop. No safe square for the knight. Pawn's threatening to just queen. We're going to keep it right here. Rook drops back, pawn to c7. I'm sure everybody at home knows what's coming next. pawn c7, rook c8, and then rook c5, right? This is this idea of trapping the knight that I've been talking about. Yep, yeah, rook c8 and then rook c5. How far was Gabor Nagy looking ahead? How far, really? What? Yeah. Rook c5 was played, not rook c3. It was a miss thing, and the game is over. The game is over. This was really pretty finish, very instructive. So now again, this knight is stuck on the rim. This bishop controls it very nicely, and now the pawn can move forward. And if you move the king into place to stop the pawn, or the rook in place, then the knight's going to fall. And yeah, so very nice chess by Grandmaster Nagy. Very nice chess. It's just a pleasure to see him playing chess in Northern California. And now we take a look at Maria Malika versus, and Maria's from Poland, versus Eric Lee. Maria's got the 3 pawns versus 2 on the queen side. So 3 minus 2 is 1 passed pawn. And a bishop versus knight advantage. But black, Eric Lee right now claims the open file. Can't do anything with it because these 3 squares are guarded, but still it means his queen is very powerfully placed. Let's see what Eric Lee plays. We'll keep it right here. My name is Chris Torres. This is Daily Chess Musings, a live broadcast of the action from the Mission 360 Bay Area Chess GMIM Norm Tournament number 2. If you are watching on Twitch, go ahead and say hi in the chat if you like. And I like being social. If you're tuning in, thank you. That's why I'm doing this. I'd be watching it anyways, but I might as well share. I'd be watching anyways because I am the Cal Chess Journal editor, and these are historic tournaments for Northern California. But I might as well share. Share in the fun with anybody who also enjoys top-notch chess. I haven't made a prediction for Eric Lee yet. I'm still thinking about it. Knight takes e3 seems 100% playable to me. I might just do that if I was Eric Lee. Yeah, I think I'm going to predict knight takes e3. I think that's my prediction for this board. Let's get rid of that the bishop versus knight dynamic and just focus on a queen and pawn endgame. I still don't like, that earlier move that Eric moved his king to h8, but it's starting to look more and more like maybe it's not going to cause him a loss. Eric is one of the founders of Mission 360, so he's one of the organizers for this tournament. So he's not just a participant, he is an organizer. And then we've got Michael Lee and Austin May duking it out. And this knight is just so unhealthy, isn't it? It's just, that's not what you want your knight doing. If, you know, I'm gonna suggest maybe Queen A5 with the hope if you can get like some kind of exchange of queens, then your knight can take on G5. Nope, he plays F6. It's another way of trying to get the knights more healthy. But it's going to leave a lot to be desired in terms of king safety for black. So let's say G takes F6, then knight takes F6, and then white just castles queenside. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's it. This is going to get a little wild. There's going to be some tactics. So both kings are black's king is more exposed given the circumstance because white's pieces are better. As soon as this pawn's out of the way, then the queen and the rook are combining down there. My name is Chris Torres. I'm a correspondence chess master, Cal Chess Journal editor, and otherwise huge fan of chess. And so I am showing you a game that's being played in my region, Northern California. A tournament that's being played in my region. Top-notch tournament. So white's rooks, you know, I've talked a lot about white's advantages. Their rooks are just like really disorganized. Michael Lee's rooks are very okay, so he castles. Now he can organize his rooks. He could do something, you know, like I don't know, rook to G1, rook to G3, and then start pushing the H pawn down the board, right? He can get his rooks coordinated. Currently, the knight's defending the lone remaining pawn. Black's rooks are coordinated, but they have no way of getting in. Even a sack of a knight wouldn't work because there's a knight defending and a pawn. White has all the long-range attacking prospects right now. Although, hang on. So if black can find the time to do something like this, then things start to open up, right? Then black maybe can get into the attack mode. I think, you know, moving the queen out of the way and then playing b5. Let me go ahead and make a prediction. Let's go ahead and predict it. Queen a7. The idea is to play b5, and then your queen and rook are unified along the 7th rank. H7 is super defended. H8, not so much. That's going to be the problem. But to get to H8, you have to get through H7, and black would be able to move a rook over to H7. So we'll see if I'm right. That's what I would be looking at. There could be something exact wrong with it, you know, in terms of calculations, and if there is, Austin May will find it. Sort of, kind of along the same lines as what I was suggesting. It moves the queen out of the way, and but see, it doesn't provide the extra defense along the 7th rank. So I think white can just play rook g1 now. I think they can. Rook g1, rook g3, maybe even throw in a queen f4 and then an h4 and an h5. I mean, yeah. In the meantime, black is going to want to strike back with b5. In fact, you know, if you looked at all the white moves there, the most forcing ones, right? Look at your queen f4 first, because you're threatening. It's a fork right off the bat. So queen f4, I'm going to stick with that. Checks, captures, threats. I was looking too plan orientated, not enough just immediate tactics. And this should be, you know, fun to watch. There's still chess left to be played here by these two young players, Maria Malika and Eric Lee. Should be fun to watch this one conclude. Again, now that Eric Lee's knight is on d4, I would argue it's actually better than white's bishop big time, right? The bishop's usually better than a knight in an endgame like this, but Eric's put his knight perfectly where it wants to be. Do you play b5 here? Is white? So you get a 2-on-1 instead of a 3-on-2. Do you do that? That's what I'm going to go with. There I am. My name is Chris Torres. You are watching Daily Chess Musings on chess.com. Go ahead, give us likes and subscribes. Daily Chess Musings, for those of you new to this channel, we're more than just a Twitch channel. We are a community. We have a club on chess.com. Go ahead and check out the Daily Chess Musings Club. Daily Chess Musings. Just go ahead and type that into the club section of chess.com. You'll find our club. Click join. It's free to join. It's a cool community. Go to dailychessmusings.com. It's an awesome website. I have years and years and years of lessons and content. If you want to get better at chess together, go to dailychessmusings.com and find us on YouTube. All the Twitch videos that I do, I go and put on YouTube, plus other ones. So go check us out on the YouTube as well. And we are waiting for to see what happens in this. I'm expecting b5. That game finished very nicely. Knight being trapped, so Gabor Nagy won. And Josiah's pawn's way up there. But black has some threats. Has the pawn stopped? But you know, when a pawn gets this close, sometimes there's some interesting tactics, right? Also, black's... Do you even try and defend this pawn? Once you lose c3, once white loses c3, I think they're going to lose the game. So yeah, I think you have to at least try and defend it. I just don't see how. I don't see how it's going to work. You can only add one defender. They've already got 2 attackers, so you're going to lose c3, and it looks like black's going to win, unless something unforeseeable happens. I mean, what you would like to do is something like this. If you're Josiah, you would love to do that, but the queen is stopping you. Black's queen is stopping you. You only have so many ways of accessing that. You can't go here, and you can't go there. These are the 2 squares your white's queen would like to go to try and get this pawn in. And black's got that shut down, plus double threats on c3, looking not so good. Let us go to, okay, we saw that. We're looking at this with interest. Maria Malika from Poland versus Eric Lee from San Francisco Bay Area. Both young FIDE masters. If I had to place a bet, I'd say draw, but there's a fair amount of chess that can still happen. Queen endgames are notoriously tricky. And then Michael Lee did play Queen F4. So here's the fork. So you choose to save the knight, but by saving the knight, you're gonna lose d6, right? So queen takes d6, which creates a passed pawn, a protected passed pawn, and you still got the threats down on h8. This looks very much like white's going to win. So, indeed, Austin May went with one of my ideas. But I thought it was better to put the queen on a7 and then play b5. This way, at least you had a little bit more power along the 7th rank in protection. Many ways to win for white here. I think rook g1. Oh, no, queen takes a6 is what's played. And that seems fine. But, rook g1's just asking to be played, because that would be doubling up on the remaining pawn. If white doesn't checkmate black, then they have a protected passed pawn. So if black is able to exchange pieces off to stave off the checkmate, then they're going to lose the endgame. And again, the other game ended in it was a Grandmaster, Leonid Udison versus David Xerxes. It was a London game and a rather dull one at that. And so yeah, not very spirited play from either Grandmaster, but they are travelers to this tournament, so they're probably preserving their energy for the later rounds. Yep. Black is just going to play rook takes c3, and then Josiah is in some trouble. Another possible way of getting this pawn, I mean, you have to figure out ways to get that pawn, and another possible way would be like scooting the rook over there, but then you can't interpose against a check with your rook anymore. So it's just this rook is defending the pawn, it would like to be there, but it doesn't move like a knight. So, yeah. If you could magically give a rook a knight's power for just one move. If you're watching the broadcast tonight, please give us a follow. This is a new Twitch channel, and I'm getting into the swing of things. I'm going to be broadcasting an awful lot of really high-level chess tournament action that maybe you wouldn't see otherwise. We live in a golden age of chess. There's so much chess happening globally that it's easy to miss some high-level tournament. And what I can do is show you the ones from Northern California. But then let's say there's not something happening in Northern California on a given, there's almost always, but let's say there's not an international tournament happening in Northern California. Well, I'm sure I can find one that is of high level, that isn't, featuring some of the most attention-grabbing stars, but still worthy of our time and energy. Why rook d to d8? Was that really played? Why would that rook go back? Oh, well, I guess he's very low on time. Ming Lu is, ladies and gentlemen, Josiah has his opponent down to a minute with a 30-second increment. And if that move was really played, this is the golden ticket for Josiah to play Queen F4, which can exchange the queens, right? So Queen takes F4, and then even GX F4, and then this rook can, yeah. C3 stays on the board? What? I said when he loses C3, then black's going to win the game. And it appears as though, if this last move is correctly inputted, it appears as though black has just made a considerable mistake under time pressure. Holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, I am shocked. Shocked. It has not been corrected. I think the move would have been corrected if it was by now. But we'll certainly know in a move. After white makes their next move, then the DGT board. These are played on digital chess boards. Physical boards that send digital chess moves. DGT. So I am anxiously awaiting with you. I think Josiah is totally going to play Queen F4. Queen F4 would be threatening F7. Forcing an exchange of... Yep. Queen F4 is played. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see a huge comeback. Huge comeback. Huge comeback. White actually, has maybe some possibilities of even winning this. I mean, huge comeback. Stuff like this rarely happens at this level, and it means starting with a win for Josiah Stearman, which is starting on the right foot to so rook F to A1, defend it twice, right? And then White's king has to get into the game real fast. So White's king is gonna try and get into the game like right about here, right? That would be perfect. Let's see how. But it's got to get. The king wants to get over because there's still this 3-on-1 situation over here. But this one pawn stops the movement of. I mean, black would have to. Oh, and look at black's time. Look at black's time. That should be the real clock, ladies and gentlemen. There is a 30-second increment. Okay, now we're seeing the 30-second increment in action. I'm expecting king g1, king f2. Both kings want to get activated. Ming Lu should have enough time to handle this kind of endgame, but sitting there under this kind of pressure for who knows how long. I mean, Josiah can fiddle around a lot. He can maneuver around a lot. Amazing. Amazing stuff. All right, so there's some drama on board 1. Gabor Nagy won on board 2. Here we are again staring at this fact that Eric Lee has gotten himself, in my opinion, a much better position than he should have been allowed to. Oh, and he played h6, so now his king has ways to get in the game itself, right? No threat of a back rank mate. This is looking like a draw, and Maria is all the way from Poland. So I would have to think that she's feeling a little jet laggy and time zone issues. I would have to think that she would offer the draw, and Eric would probably accept because she's got the 3-on-2. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then, oh dear. Let's see what happened here since we were last. Okay. Push. Tick, tick. And, indeed, black had to trade pieces, wanted to trade pieces so they don't get checkmated, which I said they could do, but then they're just trading into a losing endgame. So this is a losing endgame. It really looks like. I mean, you could play rook c8 and then king to b1, right? And then you could play knight takes, but certainly white's going to take back with their rook. And this pawn still remains there. White's got 2 connected passed pawns. Yeah. Oh my goodness. 3 passed pawns on the board for white right now. 3 passed pawns. Black has 0 passed pawns. White also has a nifty little check fork problem for black too. All right, so yeah, there we go. Gets rid of the fork. Take back with the rook. Rooks belong behind passed pawns. I think we're going to see a conclusion in this one very quickly, so I'll keep it right here. We'll probably finish out the evening with the Eric Lee versus Maria Malika game, because the other two, board 1 and board 4, look like they're finishing up very shortly now. Here's board 1. Do you see the little trick here? Rook takes b5. You guys catch that? Because of the pin. Do you see that? Yeah. Oops. Don't draw that arrow, Chris. Don't draw that arrow, Chris. Or that arrow. Bad arrow. All right. So rook takes b5, and then black takes on a7, right? And then boom, 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 trading off. But see, black's down to 34 seconds, so maybe instead of doing the trick, maybe Josiah tries to elongate this. He could play like pawn e5 check. You could play king g4. Josiah's got 28 minutes, and his opponent is living on the increment. That's tough. So yeah, don't trade off the rooks and the pawns. But then again, you fool around too much, and you might just end up losing, right? So this is a interesting point here. Does Josiah try and play the best chess, or does he try and play for the win? The best chess and playing for the win are two different paths, I would say, at this point. Nothing's going on there, and we are back here. We're expecting what do you do? What do you do as white here? Let's see. I mean, you could just pawn to e5 opens up it supports your pawn there and opens up the whole rank for the whole fourth rank for your rook, right? There's two good reasons to play that. Certainly you don't like this pawn being here because it means your king can't move forward, so you could target it right away. Bishop d1. So there's two options. In fact, you got an easy win, easily won game. Let's take away the chance of any sort of nonsense with a back rank mate and play bishop d1. There it is. That's how you do it. Take away their chances at the big comeback. Josiah is still thinking. And Eric's improved his queen. Very powerful, centrally located queen. His knight's better than the bishop. His queen's better than her queen. But she's got the 3-on-2. So we are basically even. Time is a factor, and Maria has traveled to this tournament. Fun finish to tonight's tournament. Fun finish. Let me throw on the slideshow again so you can see what the players look like. In fact, I'm going to run an ad because I need to take a break for a moment. I will be running a free online chess club for everyone who wants to learn. To further this idea, I published a mission statement for Daily Chess Musings that reads, "All those who want to learn chess are welcome here." Our free weekly chess club begins with a live meeting Wednesday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Time. Remember, you do not need to attend the weekly meetings when they are live to participate, and all students have an entire week to complete their suggested lessons. In this way, the Daily Chess Musings free weekly chess club is 100% flexible to your needs and schedule. New instructions and assignments will be given every Wednesday. If you have to miss a week, no worries. I will make all of the videos and assignments freely available on dailychessmusings.com so you can catch up when it's convenient. Special prizes will also be awarded for top performers in different categories. Plus, we will hold regular tournaments on Fridays and Saturdays, along with special events including scheduled matches between groups, simul's, group chess, and blitz games against me, Coach Chris. So what's the catch? There isn't one. I just want to give everybody the same opportunity to benefit from chess that I had as a child. For over 20 years, I have paved the way for the success of thousands of children regardless of their entry-level skill. By training with me, you will gain the valuable tools and skills needed to excel as a chess player. An extraordinary chess club experience with a top-tier instructor, the confidence and motivation necessary to surpass your chess goals and fast-track improvement.
Hey everybody, Shelby from American Chess Equipment. That's www.amchesseq.com. We're the official chess supplier of Daily Chess Musings. Now, if you're a tournament chess player or just need some for the home, check out our new clocks here. This is our Bobby Fischer chess clock made by DGT. It's the DGT North American, just with different colors and way better instructions. Now, if you really want a high-end chess clock, your kid wants a Chronos, but they're hard to find or Chronoses are impossible to use. What you really want is you want the VTech. The VTech is something designed by me, Shelby Lorman, for the tournament chess player. It's easy enough for people my age, I'm in my 40s, to use. You don't have to hand it off to an 8-year-old to get set. If you want something really cool, we can do customization for you. We can customize clocks, we can customize boards, we can customize scorebooks. If your kid has a habit of losing stuff and you're sick of replacing chess equipment, check out our items here. Now, if your kid has a habit of losing his chess clock, this is something that we can do for you that nobody else can. Looks like a normal, everyday, high-end chess clock, right? Now, let's flip this around. You can see it's got my face on it and everything else. This is a vinyl ink that's very hard to come off. So even if your kid loses it, nobody's going to be able to keep it. Something really nice for the house, you gotta check out our wood sets and boards, right?
And I am back. I hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast live from Northern California of the Mission 360 Bay Area Invitational Grandmaster I Am Norm Tournament. This is Daily Chess Musings. Check out our whole community. Go on chess.com. Google, look for the Daily Chess Musings Chess Club on chess.com. Look for us on dailychessmusings.com. Join our community. All right. Back to the action. We've got ourselves a queen and pawn endgame. Objectively, this should be a draw, however. Eric Lee has 9 minutes, and Maria has less than 1 minute. Let's look at our other games. Josiah Stearman has made the huge comeback. Ming Lu is down to 30 seconds again. Needs to make a move. Josiah played complicated chess. He's playing for the win. He could have earlier, going back a couple moves. Right here, he could have played rook takes b5, probably objectively the best move. But it leads to simplification because then black is going to take on a7, right? So, seeming that his opponent is in a lot of time trouble, Josiah has gone for complication. Dangerous choice. Dangerous choice. Because remember, I mean, if this pawn falls, or these three, if these three pawns are allowed to advance, it's big time trouble. Big time trouble for white. Josiah Stearman is fearless. Fearless at the chessboard. Over here, Maria Malika from Poland is under a minute as well. She's just hoping for a draw, given the time situation. And Eric Lee is a native of, well, no, he lives in Northern California. So he's used to this time zone. He's probably used to playing speed chess at like 10 at night anyways, so. A6 is played, and then what you think? Well, I mean, you could do the check kind of stuff, right? Check the king, then fall back and check, or you could just simply play bx a6. Then you keep one pawn in front of one pawn, and you have the extra time and the queen on the board still. Yep. Keep one pawn in front of one pawn. Is white going to play queen takes a6, and then queen to c1, check, king e2. Then this pawn is close. So then queen c2, check. And we're looking like a draw. We're looking like a draw here. Okay. I think this one's going to be a draw, folks. And I'll probably see you guys tomorrow morning about 10 for round 2 coverage. No promises, but I'll probably. So much fun to watch top level chess right here from Northern California. It's just so much fun. This game's still going. Austin May is in tremendous time trouble as well. Bishop takes b3, right? Why not? I think if you're watching the broadcast, my prediction is all these games will be done within the next 15 minutes, let's say. It's the Josiah Stearman game on board 1 that really has. Oh, this is going to be so. Notice that the bishop and the king are on the same diagonal. Let me just say that. Which allows for all sorts of neat tactics. Let's see how this plays out. I mean, if white wanted to, he could play rook c8 right now. Do you see why? Nope, he plays. All right, so he moves it back. Now there's just one thing between. There's the potential for the discovered check right away. Oh man, this is just brutal. A brutal tactical finish. Michael Lee has played a very nice game. Even if the discovered attack wasn't a deciding factor, then the passed pawns would be a deciding factor. So, and if all that wasn't deciding factor enough, then there's the whole time situation, right? So, yeah. We'll keep it right here. I think Austin May is going to be giving up. I just don't see. I don't see that there's really anything worthwhile black can do at this point. And clock has expired. I haven't seen a move, so in a moment we may see. Yep, game over. Congratulations, Michael Lee, and very good fight, Austin May. All right, so we just have 2 games left, board 1 and board 3. Let's go to board 3. Here we are, Eric Lee versus Maria Malika, or Maria Malika versus Eric Lee, actually, because you always say the player with white first. Objectively, this is a draw. But Eric Lee, you know, he can maneuver around and just try and push an exhausted Maria Malika all the way from Poland to the point of making a blunder. It's ruthless, but chess is ruthless. Let's see if we see a perpetual right away, or there's one move she's not going to play. Guarantee you. King F1. White is not going to play King F1. It would be checkmate, right? So I guarantee you are not going to see King F1. You can see King to F3 or King to E1. All right, King F3 is played. And then does he play D3 to keep it going? Or does he play Queen C3 and play another check? D3. Oh, D3 is a problem, by the way, because then she's got Queen A8 forcing there, and then Queen comes here and says check, right? And it ends up being a perpetual. So don't play D3 if you want to keep it going. You got to guard this diagonal if you want to keep it. If you want to keep the game alive, your queen needs to stay on this diagonal. So Queen F5 check would be the most complicated move he could possibly play to try and keep it alive. Little bit of gamesmanship. Gamesmanship advice. If you're enjoying tonight's broadcast, give us likes and subscribes. If you're seeing this again on YouTube, like and subscribe, share. Tell people about the Daily Chess Musings community. It's a cool place. All right, so we've seen Josiah Stearman just fighting his way back into this game, and Black is in a very tricky way right now. Because Ming Lu has 20-something seconds living on the increment, and has been for like the past hour of real time. Josiah wants this win. He wants to start with a victory and to be on the path for a Grandmaster norm. While we're watching, let me give some shout-outs. Shout out to Kevin Pan, FIDE Master Kevin Pan, and FIDE Master Eric Lee for starting Mission 360. Shout out to Bay Area Chess, Salman Azar, helping these two young gentlemen with their goals and ambitions of making Grandmaster and International Master norm tournaments available in Northern California. Shout out to Tom Langland, president of CalChess, FIDE arbiter extraordinaire, incredible chess referee, tournament director, just very knowledgeable of the rules and very hardworking. In fact, I would say that Salman Azar and Tom Langland are the only two people in chess that work in my region that work harder than I do. Um, and that you almost have to be crazy to work harder than I do because I work pretty hard. Thinking about shout out to James Ead, FIDE Master James Ead. Joins me on lots of broadcasts and donates to runs the Ead Foundation, donates to Mission 360 to help offset the costs. These are expensive to run. So thank you everyone for coming together. So he did it a different way. He put a pawn in the way. So now there's a barrier to stop some sort of perpetual check. See what he's doing? He's stopping it. Now he can move his queen. Eric Lee can move his queen off the diagonal to prevent perpetual. He can start. Now he can push his pawn forward. And there's no perpetual check, right? Eric Lee fighting for the win over Maria Malika. Josiah Stearman fighting. I mean, these players are fighting. I mean, we've seen the ability to fight at the chessboard be the deciding factor. If you look back to the last World Championship, Magnus Carlsen outfought Jan Nepomniachtchi in Game 6. Just a famous battle that's going to go down, be looked at for generations. Came down to Magnus outfighting Jan Nepomniachtchi. And now we're seeing that from some local guys. Eric Lee's they're trying to make something out of very little. But again, Eric's clock's starting to tick a little lower too, and this is most definitely, a draw. He cannot play pawn to d3 now because then there would be queen takes check. So he cannot. So he played f5 with the intention of making it so that he could play d3. But now he cannot scoot that pawn forward. Queen d1 may be the best move because it's defending, attacking, and keeping the check. Let's get back to board one, see what's happening in the Josiah Stearman game versus Ming Wu. Thank you for everybody who's followed me in the last few days. I really appreciate it. I enjoy sharing all the wonderful stuff that's happening in Northern California chess with the world. What is Josiah gonna do? What would you do as white here? You're in check. I think the, you know, yeah, King E7. Josiah is playing to keep the complexity alive. And there's not much he can move, right? He can't move this rook. This rook's already in a good spot, so I'm predicting maybe he's going to play H4. Keeping it alive. And then if black, again, the goal for black needs to be playing B4. To advance these pawns. Nope, Josiah goes back King E6, so is black still going to play B4? Tense situation for Ming Lu. Down very much on time. It's getting late. It's 10:39 p.m. It's round 1. He's got to play 8 more rounds. He's facing an opponent who is a fearless competitor. 17 seconds. Pawn to B4? Is that what you're going to play? Nope. Goes with the check. And then is white going to play king to E7 again? And then maybe we get a repeated position. I think king to E7 is objectively the best move, but his opponent's very low on time. Do you guys see why king takes E5 would be a very bad move? Very bad. Do you see why? But then there's nothing in front of this pawn, right? So you can't take the rook on E1, he thinks. I'm thinking to myself, it's late, I'm tired. Done a lot of chess day, a lot of lessons, and I'm miscalculating here. And if I'm struggling like this, imagine being like the competitors at the board. This is just 1 square away. 1 square away. So if king takes, rook says check, king has got to move, maybe here, then rook says check again. Then the king has got to move again, maybe here, maybe here. And you still can't take this rook down here because this pawn would advance. I'm not calculating well here. Oh my. Oh my. All right, so if king takes e5, rook f6, think about that. And then you're threatening rook to e8, checkmate. So if king takes e5, rook f6. Yeah, king cannot take on e5. Am I seeing that right? So king forced back to e7. I believe I'm seeing that right. It's a very very tricky. It's nothing to do with the rook on e1 because there's this pawn up there. So now rook d5. Ming Lu is down to 13 seconds. Rook d5, and then king to e6 again. Now, if Josiah wants to avoid the repetition, what does he play? Does he play h4? No, because then b4 is allowed. I think Josiah just needs to play king e6. I think it's a draw. But, you know, a draw is an excellent result for Josiah because he had Ming Lu really performed well against the unusual line that Josiah chose against the Slav. He really performed quite well. And we'll, you know, I'm going to look at this real fast when it finishes. I'm expecting that to be done. Draw on board 3. So let's see what we missed. Okay, yeah, just the check, check, check. All right. So Josiah's game is board 1 is the last game, and it's very much looking like a draw, which is a fine result for both players, to be perfectly honest. Josiah obviously would have liked to have won this game, but he had a very troubled position. And Ming Lu getting a draw against a international master is a good way to start for him. And it's a draw. All right. So here's what I was saying was if king, right, then if rook goes to d6, and then if king takes, then rook f6. I did find it. Yes, rook f6, and then the threat is for real. It's checkmate. Is the threat, and so. Yeah. Yep. There's just no. I mean, even if you go here, right? I mean, it's still checkmate. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful checkmate threat right at the end of the game. Very instructive. Very, very instructive. Let me switch back to. Here we go. Nope, that's not what I wanted to. Hi, my name is Chris Torres. This is Daily Chess Musings, and thank you for tuning in. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed sharing the kind of magic that's happening in Northern California. And let me remind you about the Mission 360. This Norm tournament schedule tomorrow. Round 2 is 11:30 a.m. See, I said 10 a.m. I was wrong. So round 2 is 11:30 a.m. I'll see you. I'll see you for round 2 tomorrow. All right. And before we go, here's Mission 360. Go check out mission360foru.org. Check it out. It's a really, really cool webpage. Really cool nonprofit started by 2 really cool young men. Check out CalChess. Check it out. awesome, awesome stuff. It's our local governing body for chess, and Tom Langland, the tournament director extraordinaire, is the president of Cal Chess. Check out the Eid Foundation. The Eid Foundation website. Check it out. Why am I not seeing... why is it not showing up in Google? Oh, quickly click here and then cross over. Here it is, eidfoundation.org. Really cool website by James Eid. Really cool website by James Eid. Check that out. So, eidfoundation.org, calchess.org, mission360foryou.org, and dailychessmusings.com. Go check them out. My name is Chris Torres. You are a friend, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. I will see you tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. for live coverage of round 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.